Warriors are 4-1. The shorthanded Warriors are 4-1. Very, very interesting. They're playing the shorthanded Pelicans as well. So both teams had to fight. Both teams had to rely on their depth. It was the Warriors who were triumphant in these back-to-back games. And I actually think it started with some of the defensive focus for the Dubs. What did you notice?
Absolutely. I think you were asking me before the show started, flavor of defense, and I was like, what could be like Rocky Road ice cream?
Sure.
When you think about the clinic that Draymond Green put on Zion Williamson, the number one thing to look at, folks, last night, Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson combined for 61 points. Brandon Ingram 30, Zion Williamson 31. Tonight, 14 and 12 respectively. So you saw the Warriors adjust for what they were able to do against their stars in the New Orleans Pelicans and really shut that down. And then all across throughout the roster, in passing lanes, making sure that they were denying, making sure that things weren't easy for the Pelicans. Overall, really nice game defensively for the Warriors.
Well, and let's talk about Draymond's influence a little bit more, because he was also the leading scorer at halftime in this game with 8. He started so well, finished with 14, 4, and 6, but 5 blocks and a steal. And as you mentioned, so importantly, he did this all on a night where he was handling Zion Williamson. Draymond for 3. Did you see post-game the guys were like, Draymond, you can shoot that 3 after your clip. Yeah.
And he had to tonight, because if you notice in their 5-out offense, the Pels were doing a phenomenal job of denying the entry pass to the wing. So they kept leaving Draymond Green open at the top of the key, and he's basically a maestro in front of his orchestra when he gets that opportunity, looking at whatever he wanted. So whether it was his 3-point bucket, which he found 2 late in the second quarter, or just being able to find his cutters off of screens or just finding themselves in the right position, Draymond was magnificent, as he always has been, as the hinge in the offense. But then you talk about the defense again. 3 fouls for Draymond before the second half started. To be able to do that against an aggressive, tenacious scorer like Zion Williamson, that bodies, likes to create contact, and Draymond was still able to meet that energy. Keep that same energy, Zion. Yeah, Draymond was able to do the same thing and body up with him and not foul, while also getting rebounds and, pushing transition because he had them. It was, again, a clinic, a true display of why Draymond Green is the Defensive Player of the Year for the NBA. He probably deserves a lot more than just one.
All right, we should probably hear from the man of the hour then, Draymond Green at the podium on Dubs Talk Live.
Draymond, what does it feel like after back-to-back nights wrestling with Zion?
Hurts. Bad. Hurts. But it was fun, man. He's gotten so much better. Just playing him over the last, the first 4 years of his career. You could tell in previous years that he was getting in better shape, that he was starting to take the game more serious, and you could just kind of see gradual steps. You can tell now he's been in the gym, working and improving to get better. To me, what that looks like is so worried about weight. Everybody talking about weight, and I've struggled with that, so I know that struggle. And so that's just the only focus. And it looks like now he has that so in check that he can actually focus on his game, and he's gotten so much better. So it was a tough battle. He got the best of me last night, and I just wanted to come out and put up a better defensive performance than I did last night.
Helping limit him to 5 for 20 tonight, and you also did a great
job. I was a main
job.
defender. Helping is crazy, but it's cool.
Limiting him to 5 for 20. You also did a great job on Laurie in Utah. Just how would you evaluate the way you've started this season defensively?
I wanted to come into this season in great shape. I know when I come into this season in great shape, that is the key to me having a great season. That is the key to this team having a great season. And, spend all summer of watching everyone talk about Chet and Wemby and what they're doing defensively. Don't forget about Dre, So I want to be in that conversation as well, and I think I've earned the right to at least be in the conversation. So every game I'm coming out here motivated defensively to get back on the first team on defense. I think, I had a really good year last year defensively. I just didn't play enough games. So, it's a goal of mine to get back on that team and then put myself back in the Defensive Player of the Year category is a goal of mine. So when I'm matching up with these guys, that's my mindset. Like I said, it's not going to work out every night. He had, 31 last night, something like that, on a very efficient, 12 for 19 or something. And so, I just wanted to make him take tougher shots tonight, try to meet force with force, and, I was able to get a couple strips. And then also, my team is helping me. I'm not going to sit there and act like it's just all me. We're shrinking gaps, flying around, getting deflections, showing a crowd. It's always a team effort. No one guy is ever stopping a superstar in this league by yourself. But in saying that, you got to meet the force with force, and I wanted to do a better job of that tonight than I did. He put a couple moves on me last night. He spun. I was out of bounds somewhere, and so I wanted to have a bounce back game tonight.
You've won a challenge in the last 4 straight games, and I say you because oftentimes you're the one calling it. Last year you guys were bad at challenges. Do you feel like the referees are more willing to overturn it right now, or are you guys just being better at which ones you're deciding?
I think we're being better. That's probably we all complain about the challenge system when you're like, you're asking people to overturn it. They call it. And I think that rule changed. But regardless if it changed or not, it is about as transparent of a process as you can have. Like, we all see the replay. We all get to make a judgment. Sometimes you disagree with it, but for the most part, it's right in your face. I think we're just better. Our process is better. I saw that graphic this summer, and it had the head coaches, and it had Steve wave somewhere.
30th, I believe.
And I'm looking at the graphic man, we were awful, but our process wasn't great. You got me out there crying, you got BP out there crying, and everybody's just running up challenge. And in turn, we weren't able to create a good process. And I think now, this year, there's been a couple where Steve's yo, Draymond, I'm nah, don't challenge that one. I seen BP a couple times. Steve's and he's nah, don't challenge. And I think we're all doing a better job. And it's important because the reality is it's bigger than just whether you win or lose the challenge or not. Probably means if we're losing challenges the way we all are being over-emotional. We're all being over-consumed with what the referees are calling. And I think it's important for us as leaders to understand, use them wisely. They're very important. They can change the outcome of a game. And we're just doing a better job of it, I think, than we were last year.
It's obviously early.
Warriors doing a better job of a lot of things. Also, Draymond Green challenges when he does tell Steve Kerr to challenge, 4 for 4 so far this year. So doing well there. One of the interesting things about Draymond's offense that was better tonight, averages 7 field goal attempts. Only 7. He's not a huge, aggressive ball taker, doesn't try to get to the basket. He usually facilitates. Tonight, 11 shots. That's great, especially when you don't have an Andrew Wiggins and you don't have a Steph Curry. You got to make those shots somewhere, and it's really nice to see Draymond not deferring to his teammates but taking the ball his own.
All right, as far as these challenges, we were joking post-game about, there's bobbleheads. What if there's a swivel finger? What if there's...
Oh, they got to create that.
Amazing
That would be so good.
Because there's okay, challenge this. And then sometimes there's, challenge this. And it's oh, okay, seriousness.
I agree. There's got to be something to commemorate this new motion in the NBA.
Okay, a swivel finger. We just came up with that tonight. Okay, Brandon Pajemski, if we're talking about guys who are impacting the game, let's talk about Pods here, stepping into that point guard role, taking the point guard duties. There was a third quarter sequence where he assisted or scored on 5 consecutive buckets. What do you notice about the way that he can control the game, Zena?
Absolutely. This is why they call him Draymond 2.0. And this is what he did, not only in this game, but since he's come to this program, is just focus on finding a way to impact the game positively. You see him constantly being mentored, whether it's Draymond, whether it's Steph. He wants to emulate his teammates and consistently get better. That's what contributed to his third-year contract extension.
Yes.
You saw that announced literally, I think, right before the game.
Yes.
And remember, folks, first rounders of the NBA draft, they only get the first and second year guaranteed. They have to earn that third and fourth year. And that's exactly what Brandon Podziemski has done. He has earned those through his relentless defense, through his intensity, through his effort, always exerting the maximum effort on the court. And you saw that last year, 74 games played as a rookie, showcase his durability, showcase his maturity to play throughout the kind of unknown last season of Klay Thompson. He really stepped up into a position that is why he has earned that third year.
When BP talks, I always think that he's on a ladder, right? He's like, okay, I lead the NBA in charges. I made the all-rookie first team. Now I want to make all-star. Then I want to be a multi-year all-star. He thinks so far into the distance, but doesn't just talk about it. He tends to be about it.
Oh,
So far, he's had a very promising season built on the last season as well. Podziemski was at the podium. Let's take a listen.
Do you think this team is a much better defensive team than it was last season? Can you feel that already?
100%.
What areas do you think?
I think we're just really good at covering for each other. I think, it's crazy as it sounds, Jerry's dumbed it down to the point where, everybody understands kind of the principle of what we're trying to do, and everything is super regulated, where he tries to eliminate as much gray area as possible. Everything's kind of black and white, and we'll make adjustments accordingly. But I think that really helped us, especially through training camp, just kind of understanding what we're trying to get to. And like I said, he's kind of dumbed out the gray area part of things and made it super black and white, so everybody's on the same page.
I guess to follow on that, the speed you guys have on that end of the floor really seems like it's disrupting opponents. What have you felt being out there as these last 5 games on that end of the floor, as with your depth and whatnot, and with the pace you guys are playing at?
Yeah, I think defensively, I think everything's just congested for the other team, and you can kind of feel that. When I'm out there, it just feels like they have nowhere to go in the paint, whereas last year we were just kind of giving up the rim. And I think the only way they really scored tonight was in transition off our turnovers. We had, I think, 12 at the half, and we had, 4 or 5 maybe in the second half, or 2 turnovers actually in the second half. So I think once we just kind of took that away, holding an NBA team to 89 points is pretty tough.
What did you bang up late when you kind of?
Yeah, my elbow and my shoulder, I kind of just twirled in the air and just landed on my shoulder. So it was just kind of a stinger, but I'll be good for Saturday.
You guys were last in the league in challenge success last year. Draymond, and you're 4 for 5 this year, all on Draymond fouls, but he feels like you guys are being a little bit more selective on what you're reviewing. I mean, do you feel like you guys are have a better process this year?
I don't necessarily think it's a better process. I think Draymond's better with his emotional reaction to some things and kind of understands, do we have a legitimate shot at it? And I think he's been really good with, deciphering that. And we've only challenged, on his fouls, and we've won 4 out of 5 of them, I think, right? 4 out of 5. And so I think he's just done a better job of, he may not agree with the call, but at the end of the day, is it worth challenging? I think he's done a great job deciphering that.
It's early, but
Why not roll that challenge finger? 38 minutes for Brandon Podziemski. 8 assists, 9 rebounds, 13 points in those point guard duties. You got to feel good about it. 4-1, these Warriors. We'll talk about JK on the other side of the break.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Mancini Sleep World. Visit Mancini Sleep World for our Black Friday sale. Save big on premium mattresses plus free delivery. Hurry in now or visit us online at sleepworld.com.
Hey everybody, we are back on YouTube. So off the top of the show, I said Zena's name, not her last name. Didn't even bother with my name. This is Zena Keita. I'm Kerith Burke. Thank you everybody for watching on YouTube. Talking about this Pods Tech, I'm gonna go completely off the wall and ask you a wild question.
Oh.
Is there a chance Pods gets more technicals this season than Draymond Green?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is that not
Absolutely.
crazy? Oh, I thought
And
you'd
the
be
only
like,
reason, no, not
Okay.
crazy. And the only reason I feel like is because we're seeing Brandon Podziemski get even more and more comfortable. So he can be even more and more comfortable calling his shots, right? And when you think that Draymond is his mentor out there that's teaching him how to call these challenges and how to, talk to the refs to say, hey, I deserve that foul, et cetera, I think he's just going to buck up a little bit. His energy is going to get a little bit more, tough out there. And I think that absolutely I can see it. I can see it. We've already seen glimpses.
Yeah, well, and Draymond said this season he will have 10 or fewer technicals. Okay, he kind of already made that little promise.
So that energy might transition. And I don't say this in a bad way. I do think that when you're a player that plays as hard as Podziemski and has as much intensity as Podziemski, you're just capable of being in those kind of fired up moments anyways when you want a call or, and you're in a position where you think you deserve one and you have to say something. So I think it could happen.
Well, and when a second-year player tries to say something to a referee, too, they're also like, who are you? There's a little bit of that still happening.
Right.
So
the patience might not be there like it is with Draymond.
Let's tuck that away.
We'll
see, Very interesting.
See. That's
All
good.
right.
That's a good question.
Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. The usual names here. Jonathan Kampinga coming out of the break, right? Okay, thank you. Grant says, I think his tech will get rescinded. That's an option, too. We're back on Dubstock Live, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World. Zena and Kerith here with you. I talked to JK post-game. I asked him about his change in role, and what I meant was, you're coming off the bench now. You were starting before. Understanding that this is a decision based on the depth of the team and what they need. Let me tell you, it was a little awkward. He looked at me like, role change? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Because from his perspective, he's still getting his minutes, right? He played a season-high 28 in the last game, 27 tonight, and he's making his impact felt. And that's kind of what he was saying, like, reading between the lines here, even if he's starting off the bench, he still has to do X, Y, and Z and perform to the best of his abilities.
Of course. I mean, Kerith, as you're talking, you're seeing plays that Jonathan Kampinga made tonight that showcase just how patient he has become, how poised he's become. And let me add another P that he continues to say, professional, right? Because this is one of the concerns that a lot of people have had around Jonathan Kampinga is how much is he learning the game as he is also developing his athleticism, his body, and his skill. And sometimes having to do that at the same time, learning the game and developing, unbelievably hard. But if you're a professional and you're approaching it with the mindset of I'm capable of doing this and I'll do the work necessary to elevate myself, you will see the results. And that's what we're seeing tonight with Jonathan Kampinga. There were several plays, I think in the first quarter, saw him draw 2 to 3 bodies, makes a bounce pass through that to Buddy Hield for an easy 2. This is impressive work from Jonathan Kampinga in terms of just elevating how he's seeing the game and assessing the game in real time. So I agree with him. Roll off the bench or starting.
Doesn't matter.
Patient, poised, professional. That's what you want.
He also put the ball on the floor, went right through BI, went to the rim.
Oh.
Like, he can just go
He did that
wherever he
several
wants.
times,
Yes.
yeah.
Jonathan Kampinga deserves to be a starter. This is just a decision of circumstance right now while the Warriors are shorthanded. I understand
matter of
it.
spacing.
Yeah.
It's a matter of spacing. And one thing that's really important to see as well, look at his shot distribution tonight. 6 of 12, I believe, from the floor. 0 for 1 from 3. This is important. When the Warriors are focused on three-point shooting, you don't want someone that's not hitting their 3 and not comfortable hitting their 3, shooting 3s. You'd want them going to find the shot that works for them. And Jonathan Kampinga went and found that shot, and it just happened to be in the middle of NOP bodies. The Pelicans didn't know what to do to stop him, and it was really remarkable just seeing his game take off the way it has these past 2 games.
All right, you need multi-dimensions in a game. Some guys have to attack the rim. Some guys have to shoot 3. How about Buddy Hield shooting 11 threes total over these 2 games in the back-to-back? What do you think about Buddy's start to the season?
You know what's funny? If you've watched Buddy Hield, whether you watched him at the Pacers, you watched him at the Kings, you watched him at the Sixers for the 1 year he was with them, you know this guy is streaky. He has started, last night, he started 1 for 8 from the floor. 1 for 8 from the floor. Ended up being the highest scorer for the Warriors. Tonight, same thing. Started 1 for 4 from the floor. Ends up, 4 for 12, but 8 of 19 from the floor. Now, here's the thing about Buddy. He's going to need a lot of output in order to get you the numbers, but that's what oils his wheel.
Okay.
Right? That's what gets him going, and that's what you love to see out of Buddy, is him not giving up on his shot, because that's when the hot hand starts.
Yeah.
And he has been remarkable in terms of coming off of screens, finding his shot, cutting in the right places. I mean, he was in the dunker spot a few times tonight. It's really impressive work for him offensively.
Well, whether you want to call that output or volume, or like, because sometimes a volume shooter can be a ball hog, frankly, but that was not the case.
At all.
Yeah, that's
it's
not the
always
case.
within the course of the offense, and that's one of the things I think, Brandon Podziemski just made a point about things being made black and white. When you saw the Warriors offense get junked up in the second quarter, players were going 1v1, players not knowing how to get the ball into the entry, whether it was in the split action down in the low post or on the wing. You saw things get a little junked up. That's when things are gray. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield is a person that can help you make things real clear, black and white, real quickly.
Okay.
When you know he's got a hot hand, you know the actions you want to run are to get him open, or to get his defender behind him. And when you have a hot hand like that, you got to feed it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what the Warriors did really nicely in the second half. They made it black and white. Let's get the ball to Buddy Hield within the course of the offense.
Yeah, he's being a good teammate too. You can see his positivity there. One of those
Absolutely.
guys who looks like he can make a very positive impact in the locker room. All right, I feel like we have a ton more guys to talk about, but we don't have a lot of time. We need to look at the schedule coming up when Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Dubs Talk, returns. Also, some injury updates hopefully coming. How about one for that guy? Yeah, we'll tell you when we can learn the latest on Steph next. Hey, we're back on YouTube. Adriana is saying Buddy's game is more than I originally thought. He's more than just a shooter. I would agree with you
Yeah.
there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, he's not a one-to-one substitution for Klay Thompson either. It's not just like you plug him in, they get the exact same game. Buddy has a different dynamic to him, as well as bringing these threes along.
And I think that that's a testament to the Warriors system. The Warriors system can really bring out more in players. You're seeing, I mean, think about Lindy Waters III, right?
Who started tonight.
Who
Yep.
started tonight. And you're seeing a lot of players that may not have plugged well in other systems perform well because they're being able to be showcased in a spaced out offense. That's one of the beautiful things about the Warriors split action. They have that spacing where a post player gets it on one side, and then the guards have room to play and find opportunities to get open. And there's so many wrinkles that you can lay into it. And so I think it just highlights him really well. And you're going to see that with a ton of these players. That's why Steve Kerr can go 12-man deep.
Yep.
Because they've got a system that allows all 12 of their players, regardless of skill, regardless of what they bring, to be able to be highlighted.
Gotcha. Jessica, I see your comment. Thank you. Happy Pride Night here. Really good music tonight.
Oh, the
really good
was
music tonight.
Phenomenal. I literally, we were listening to the music, and I'm just like,
like,
I look
why
at
is this
Kerith, I'm
happening?
like, why is this so good tonight?
Yeah.
Like, this is a whole club in here.
Because it's Pride Night.
It's Pride Night.
It's Pride Night.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
There you go.
It was good. It was good vibes.
Looking through the comments. Hello, hello. People like a ladies' night. So do I.
Hey, I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. The Pride of Yale. That's still one of the best nicknames. I'm telling you.
I love it. I'm excited to go back. I'll be back in 2
Aruna saying
weeks.
the atmosphere was good. Yes, indeed. All right. We're coming out to the schedule or an injury report? Schedule. Okay. Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World. If I had to guess, coming off a back-to-back, the Warriors are off tomorrow. Okay, then we're going to get some injury news on Friday. That's when the update is coming for Steph. That's when the update is coming for D'Anthony Melton. And then Steve Kerr was explaining that Andrew Wiggins is day-to-day. In fact, Wiggins was active for tonight, but he was on the bench in street clothes. So he was like
They
a
didn't
very
need him.
far out, maybe that he would play. Yeah, all eyes right now are on Steph's ankles, and good for the Warriors for withstanding this back-to-back without him. Of course, they want him as they get ready to go on a pretty big 5-game road trip. Yesterday we heard from one of the Stanford doctors explaining that this injury can be managed, and Steph Curry knows his ankles very well. So hoping for the best news on Friday. Here it comes. Okay, the Warriors are about to hit the road. They have the Rockets on Saturday. They've got who? Jordan Poole and the Wizards on Monday. Have you
Who's
seen
playing
Jordan Poole
really
hitting
well
his
this year?
threes?
And
Good for
the
him.
Wizards just beat the Hawks. I mean, they're playing pretty well, and Jordan
Yes.
Poole is the catapult behind it. catalyst, behind that.
Yes, I think you can call him a catapult.
You could do that too. His shot definitely could be a catapult.
Flinging those threes, but making them. And then look, there's the big one right there on the schedule. It's the Celtics. Can't overlook the Cavs and OKC as well. That's Lindy Waters' old team. Lindy Waters
There
get the
you
start
go.
tonight. That's what happens when you earn it in the previous game, although his shooting wasn't as good tonight. But that happens. When you're a shooter, all this stuff goes in waves.
Do the other things you can control. He was a playmaker tonight, had 3 assists. That's helpful. But do not look past the Cavaliers. I think they are a big contender in the East. Just handed the Lakers their derriere. I'll say the French word for it. It was a tough game. Watch that one. And then the Pacers beat the Celtics in overtime. So capable of wins. Just got to see what the Warriors are going to do. This is going to be a real depth tester. That is a hard thing to say, but will be a big test for the Warriors.
I love it when you drop French. I do it. And I knew that word. Yeah, I knew
We
that
should
one.
all know
yeah,
derriere.
we should know
Yeah,
derriere. Yeah, we got that one. Going back to Lindy real quick, because I don't know if you saw, as Lindy had that excellent first game in the first game of this back-to-back, again, earning the start tonight, some old clips of his interviews came up, and there was one on Trae Young's podcast where he was talking about earning an opportunity. He was waiting, he was undrafted coming out of school. He was playing in a semi-pro league just to keep his conditioning up. And then at night, he said he was driving DoorDash or he was cutting grass, anything to make money just as he was waiting for his chance. And now he has that chance with Golden State. He's the 13th man. Steve Kerr joked, okay, I've got a 13-man rotation now because that's what Lindy deserves. But what do you think about the way that he has stuck here with Golden State, kind of forcing their hand to look at him?
Well, that's what you want to do when you're a player that's trying to find some time on the court, knowing that you enter the season with you and Guy Santos not being a part of the 12-man rotation. You've got to get some attention your way. You got to put the spotlight on you. And that's exactly what he did with this game. And he's earned himself a little bit of time. Now, of course, tonight wasn't as sparkly and as explosive as last night, but he still did the things necessary. He took a charge tonight. Yeah. He played for his teammates tonight. So anything he can do to continue to be effective while he's out there, great for him.
And here's a guy who wants the attention on him. He wants to stick in the league, deserves that opportunity, but he's also playing within the flow of the offense. He's not chucking every chance. Look at me, look at me. No. Steve Kerr gave him a great compliment before. It's not just the shots that he takes, it's the ones that he doesn't take to make the pass and keep the offense flowing.
Again, testament to the Warriors offense, because not only Lindy, Kyle Anderson too. Didn't have a shot last night. Perfect from the floor tonight. These things are happening within the offense because the Warriors have done such a great job of making it clear for their players.
Okay, the Warriors starting the season 4-1, doing it shorthanded. Hopefully some good news on the way Friday with the injury updates for Steph, Andrew Wiggins, and DeAnthony Melton. Zena, Keita, thank you very much.
Thank you,
I'm
Kerith
Burke. Thank you very much for watching. The conversation continues on YouTube and as always on the Dubs Talk podcast.
What killed that?
Wasn't ready for that. Thank
Guys,
you.
on YouTube.
She
need
is
you guys.
strong.
Hold on. My bad. I do. My mom always tells me, like, you are a little bit heavy-handed. A little bit heavier-handed. No, seriously, I just like push Kerith because for the folks that don't know the TV business, you don't know how hard it is. As a producer is telling you, you got 10 seconds to close the show out, to say what you have to say, and then also say goodnight. It is a rush, okay? It's a level of adrenaline. I get nervous every time I do it. Kerith kills it every time she does it.
Thank you.
Cleanly close the, I'm just like, oh.
Thank you.
I'm trying to pick it up.
No, when
it's
I'm
year
not
3 for me. I'm trying to pick it up,
stuttering my words. No, I appreciate it. DV says, well done, Lindy Rainmaker Waters. His last name is just right for
what?
Just for nicknames.
It's so
gotta
good.
Come up with something there.
I think Dave DeFore on the NBA Daily said, "Bridge over troubled waters." Was Lindy bridge over troubled waters?
Well, what's the trouble?
I mean, Steph Curry. You know what I mean? He was the bridge that helped the Warriors over troubled waters last night. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. The thing is, it can't stick. If Curry comes back and he's still good, it's like where there's the trouble. But last night, it stuck perfectly. That was a good one.
I got to talk to Lindy pregame. He said, like, he always talks to his mom after the games. I was like, that's very sweet.
That's so sweet.
Because I was wondering, it was a national game for the first one. How does she watch otherwise? League Pass?
Yeah.
Everybody's watching.
Yeah, League Pass is a thing.
Okay.
But I think, too, No, league pass is the thing.
Yeah.
I do love this trend. I don't know if you've seen this on TikTok, where particularly with the football players and basketball teams, they're setting up the phones, and the prompt is, "When's the last time you talked to your mom?"
Okay.
And like they're coming in like straight out of practice, and they're like, "I talked to my mom this morning."
Yes.
I just talked to my mom last night. Like,
Good. Let me go
it's
through your phone. Let me see.
Right,
Let me
exactly,
see. When did you last talk to your
exactly.
mom?
Yeah. So you have that coming for you.
Okay. That's good.
One
That's
day
good.
with baby
I was
Burke.
actually I might see my mom's name in the chat tonight. So
Oh,
know.
there you
Okay,
go.
there you go.
My mom always watches 6:30 a.m. in France time. So.
That's what's amazing about
Yeah.
YouTube, because you can
So
watch
good.
via social, you can watch via YouTube, you can watch enough clips at least to feel like you're informed.
Part
and
of
that's
it,
cool. We have
absolutely.
family members who watch from Ireland that way.
There you
they're like
go.
scrolling, refreshing, figuring it out. It's great.
awesome.
Okay,
Love it.
basketball, a world unifier. All right, we are out of here. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye, guys.